believe this hour coming from Lost Wages, Nevada. Offense optional. Offense optional Monday Night Football. The Packers brought their shareholders to town for a date with the Raiders. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the house. Did you watch? Well, I watched with half an eye. I was watching the baseball. I'm not going to lie to you, but I did have this game on, and it was on in the background. And what I saw, if you didn't see it, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't very good. He wasn't. Had a little over 200 yards passing, had a touchdown, threw his NFL-leading 7th interception for the Raiders. But that was enough compliments of the generosity of the team from Wisconsin as Las Vegas ends up getting a 17-13 victory. Green Bay was given an opportunity to win the game by Josh McDaniels, and the kicker for the Raiders, Mr. Carlson, Daniel Carlson, who botched a field goal. It was a long field goal, but a 52-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. More on that coming up in a bit, but let's not bury the lead. The Raiders are 2-3. They gained less than 280 yards. The Packers got 285 yards. They're 2-3, so both teams have the identical record coming out of the Monday night game. Las Vegas ending an 8-game skid against the Packers. The last time the franchise beat Green Bay prior to Monday night was in 1987 when they were called the Los Angeles Raiders. It's a fair amount of time ago. The better story, though, is in the losing locker room. Why? We love losers. I love losers. And so we're going to go to the loser side. That's where the drama is. When you win, everyone kisses your ass and everything's wonderful. It's rainbows and lollipops. But when you lose, it's finger pointing. It's calling names to other people. It's that kind of stuff. So the question on this Raider-Packer Monday night game, let's start with the quarterback, because that's really this season for the Green Bay Packers in a nutshell. Can we all agree on that? Does anyone disagree? Anyone in the electorate disagree? This season's all about figuring out what the hell you have at quarterback. So after 5 weeks of the NFL regular season, how does the report card for Packer quarterback Jordan Love read after 5 weeks? So on the Maller report card, the only report card that matters in this time slot on Fox Sports Radio, the Maller report card, I have given Jordan Love the D minus. I give him the D. Love gets the D minus is what he gets, yes. I've got Donald Trump, Magic 8 Ball, and white polyester tracksuit. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a bowl of chili. Why? That would have been more entertaining than watching the Packers and Raiders on offense. A nice bowl of chili. Not even eating the chili, just looking at the chili would have been better. So we'll begin here. Jordan Love is not your typical first-year starting quarterback. And so you have to, in the grading process, as an educator, I've spoken to at least one university. I've ventured into academia. And here's the thing. When you're grading Jordan Love, it's not your normal first-year starting quarterback. Like, if you look at the Carolina Panthers, they got the latest hot shot from Alabama. And he has not played NFL football, Bryce Young, until this year, so he's playing. And he's terrible. He's absolutely horrible. It's different in Green Bay because Love has been spoon-fed those cheese curds, NFL life. He was not fed to the Lions and Bears and Vikings. No, not at all. Not by a long shot. Green Bay was very methodical. They had Aaron Rodgers. And so when you look at Jordan Love, he was living the life of the old Donald Trump TV show, The Apprentice, right? He was the apprentice. He was hanging out, waiting around. La, 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 la. That's what he sounded like. A lot of people don't know that, but that's what Jordan Love sounded like. La, 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 la. Na, 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 na. He was twiddling his thumbs, waiting for the opportunity. Well, now the opportunity is here, and the expectation has to be higher. The expectation has to be higher than the production. Love gets the D- on the Maller report card because he's not even getting better. He's getting worse. As the season has gone on, his performance has gotten progressively worse, and it's not like the competition has gotten progressively better for the Green Bay Packers and their opponents here versus Atlanta. If you look at the report card, the Chicago game didn't do great in the first half. Second half dominated. Fine, we'll give them a good grade on that. The Bears are terrible. The Atlanta game for the Packers, Jordan Love had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. So you say, great game, wonderful game. But if you saw the game, he did not perform well in the fourth quarter, and he was responsible for not making plays down the stretch. Otherwise, the Packers beat the Falcons. It's not like Atlanta's a great team. So then against the Lions, that was just a no-show. That was absenteeism in the first half. We all saw that, those of us that have the Amazon with Al Michaels and friends. And so he then also, in the game before the Lions game, the New Orleans game, he stunk for 3 quarters. And then there was a helter-skelter comeback for the Packers and Jordan Love. And so he played well for a quarter, and they won the game. Congratulations. But even that, there were some other factors that played into it. Now against a mediocre Raider team, a team that really was challenged to create turnovers. I think they only had 1, I believe, coming into this game. And Jordan Love went out there, and he was the mayor of Barf City. He was the mayor of Barf City. Man, and against a mediocre Raider defense, he had a real clunker, 3 interceptions. The one it was like he's playing catch with the Raider linebacker over the middle. No touchdown passes against a very vanilla Raider defense. So now after 5 games, if you look at the tail of the tape for Mr. Love, if you look at 5 games, Jordan Love, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's completing less than 60% of his passes. I didn't play quarterback in the NFL, but I'm told that's not good. Averaging less than 7 yards per attempt, barely over 6.5. That's also not good. And a quarterback rating of 77.2, which I think sucks in all 50 states, and not just the 48 continental states. That also stinks in Alaska and Hawaii. So considering, and when you combine everything together and you crunch the numbers, considering all of the time invested in developing Jordan Love and having him ready. And I love those people that say, well, every rookie quarterback needs to sit for 2 years because they'll all be like Patrick Mahomes. Well, sometimes you get Jordan Love. Okay? He ain't good. Let's just say it. Right now he's not good, and you never know. He might never become good. But right now he's not good. First impression, you only get 1 chance to do that. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy. And struggling against lousy competition. Now, page 2 here. Are there any positives for the Green Bay football team here as we advance through the season now, past week 5, Packers coming up on a bye week? So let's ask the Magic 8 Ball. Almighty, omnipresent, all-powerful Magic 8 Ball. Are there positives for the Green Bay Packers after 5 games? Magic 8 Ball says, outlook not so good. That's what the Magic 8 Ball says. Listen, the Packers are settling in to what will likely be a rather long stretch of unremarkable football. Let's just call it like it is here. Matt LaFleur looks like he knows the end is near. He just has this dazed and confused, like sad look on his face, the coach in Green Bay, when he should be wanting to roll up his sleeves right now and out-scheme the other teams, right? Because you're going to have to out-scheme the other teams because you don't have great talent, but nothing is going to come into that Green Bay locker room that bedazzles you in terms of talent. There's nothing astonishing around the corner. They've got a bunch of worker ants on that team, and that's what they have, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel there. You're not going to get a hotshot free agent coming to Green Bay unless God tells them to go to Green Bay. Shout out the Minister of Defense back in the day. But outside of that, forget about it. You're not going to get a trade. The Packers don't operate that way because they'd have to trade draft picks, and they don't do that. So what you see is what you get. All right? They'll lie low, and they'll take it slow and study, and that's how they're going to approach things. All right, final point. Does this win launch the Raiders in the right direction? They beat the Green Bay Packers at home. End the 3-game losing streak. So I will be Benny Brightstead on this with a catch. So I am nodding my head yes. that this does propel the Raiders. But before you get too excited, do not confuse the victory as a sign that the Raiders are actually a good team. They're not. But they're going to be what we call a faux good team for the next month, okay? And here's why. Before we tell you why, this game right here, the Monday night game, was the epitome of a Jimmy G special. If you could sum up what is Jimmy Garoppolo's career like, this is it. It's go out, don't play that well, but you win the game anyway. That's Garoppolo. That's how he's done it. You don't have the sexiest stat line. You don't really make that many big plays. It's a bumpy ride, but you win anyway. Your offense doesn't have any real tempo, but you find a way. You persevere. That's Garoppolo. And get out the gaudy jewelry, the white polyester tracksuit. I don't care if you want to bring out the overhead projector, you can do that as well. Because Al Davis would have loved a guy like Garoppolo, because what was his tagline? Just win, baby. Right? And Garoppolo just wins, baby. Now to the point why there's optimism, even though the Raiders are going to be a faux contender. They're not a real good team. They're a faux good team. And here's why. So they're 2-3. I've done some Maller math on this. The arrow is pointing up. Here's why. Not because the Raiders are good, because they're the light of the gods of the schedule. The scheduling gods is shining down on the Raiders. Okay, so the Raiders are 2-3. Here's what they have upcoming. They've got the Patriots in Vegas. The Patriots might just forfeit that game and save money on gas the way they're playing right now. They're not even trying. Gutless. The Chicago Bears in Chicago. You don't think the Bears are good. They're not. The Lions. Now, the Lions are a good team. Okay, fine. That's in Detroit. Maybe you lose that game. Then you've got the Giants and Jets, both New York teams back-to-back. We know they stink. So of the next 5 games, 4 of them are winnable. So if the Raiders take care of business, they will end up, using my computer-like brain, 6-4 will be the Raiders' record after 10 games. And then you go flying into a wood chipper because then you have to play the Dolphins and the good teams. But the next 5 games for the Raiders are right there for the taking. It's like a nice, thick orange. It's just got the juice ready. You squeeze it, the juice comes out.